Romans 11:32, Paul said, "For God has shut us all up into disobedience, that He might show mercy to us all." How many people will He show mercy to? To us all. What is God saying? I allow you to fail. And by the way, we all know we fail. Sometimes you pretend like we don't fail. But we all fail. Because God says that He wants to show mercy to how many? Every single one of us. The Pharisees pretended like they never failed. And they therefore came up with what is called a self-righteous attitude. The Pharisee. And I don't want to be a Pharisee. I want to be somebody who says, "Yes, Lord, I'm not planning to fail. I don't want to break your heart. I don't want to break my legs. I don't want to live in sin. But I will fail. And I must never operate as if I don't fail." The Pharisee. Are you listening to me? Jesus told a very interesting story in Luke chapter 18. He spoke about justification by faith right there. He told about a Pharisee and a tax collector that went into the temple. Remember the story? And the Pharisee went to the temple and he stood in front of the temple and he said, Lord, I thank you. I thank you. Notice how many times it says I. I thank you that I am not a swindler. I wonder how he knew that. I thank you that I'm not unjust. Ask his wife about that. I thank you that I'm not like this tax collector. I'm not an adulterer. I thank you that I'm not like this tax collector. He said, I fast twice a week. I give my tithes. I. And then Jesus told the story of the other man, the tax collector. The Pharisees really the guys who kept the law. And they kept the law stringently. And the tax collector was known to the guys who looked down, despised. And Jesus told the story. The tax collector just stood up, wouldn't even lift his eyes to heaven, just kept beating his chest and said, Lord, have mercy on me. I'm a sinner. And Jesus used a very interesting word. He said, and he went down to his house, declared righteous. Wow. The only way I can relate to God is by mercy. Legalism is not what God wants me to operate in. Legalism is when I start to judge people and I have an attitude of constant critical, because that's not a good thing. Jesus says, I warn you, don't judge others lest you be judged. And it's a very beautiful thing because grace, when we become really gracious people, and this is a beautiful thing to have a revelation of grace, a grace person is somebody who knows how much God has forgiven them. And when you know how much God has forgiven them, how much He has really, really forgiven you. You may be outwardly good, righteous in the eyes of people, outwardly not doing anything, but God knows everything. And God says, I've forgiven you so, so much. And therefore, you can easily give grace to others. Do you understand?